Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another Kickstarter critique where I take a look at a different Kickstarter tabletop game project every weekday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Give my honest thoughts on how that project is being ran. And today, I am not particularly excited to be checking out the 16th most popular project in all of games. Few reasons. First, I have no attachment to Mystery Science Theater 3000, and so you showing me nothing but, you know, the name and people doesn't get me excited at all. Also, Cryptozoic. Their track record is mixed, to say the least, so that doesn't really move the needle for me. I don't know the play length, the time count, the age. You've got Movie Sign. Play as the iconic crew of the Satellite of Love in this Riff-tastic party game. So it's a party game. Love to know the player length, the time count, the age, the price, the components, the mechanisms. But no, instead you have to make the click. Hate it. Hate it with my soul. But $306,000 proves that Mystery Science Theater fans don't hate it. Or they might, they just don't care because Cryptozoic has what they want. As always with the video, I'm thinking three things. Do I want it? Can you do it? How much is it? And now, obviously, the basic questions that you haven't answered yet of the player length, time, count, and age, because, of course, you haven't. Let's go. Is there no sound? Turn down your lights where applicable. In the not-too-distant future, Riff-tastic new board game fans... Okay.
In the not-too-distant future, next Sunday AD, there was a guy named Joel, not too different from you or me. He worked at Gizmonic Institute, just another face in a red jumpsuit. He did a good job cleaning up the place, but his boss didn't like him, so
You just put out quotes? Okay. So, it's the lowest common denominator straight-up cash grab that you're hoping it wasn't. But does that mean it's not fun? Absolutely not. It could absolutely be fun, but if you're a gamer, I can't imagine this was the most you were hoping for. Hopefully there's some stuff under the hood, some betting, bidding, special powers. Who knows? A rip-off.
The worst we can find.
Yep, it's Cards Against Humanity, but with this slapped onto it. Okay, I will say I love this. We're showcasing the how much is it by showcasing the price, the deluxe version of the game, which with Cryptozoic, I would always say you could most definitely wait till after the fact and get it at retail. Because don't forget, Cryptozoic is like they're a big company if I recall correctly, but like the board games is a smaller part of it, if I'm remembering companies correctly.
Robot roll call Cabot. Gypsy. Hi, girl. Tom Servo.
I'm thinking of a different company, I think, actually. So the acrylic standee pack, either way, you still can totally get this at retail. Now this stuff, that might not be as much at retail. That might have to be at a convention sort of thing. But that stuff, yeah. Okay, cool. And you're showcasing me why I need to back this now, once again. So it's like, oh, the fear of missing out. I don't want to miss out on these acrylic things. Because once again, if I'm a huge fan of the show, just having those acrylics, I'll probably just have those out, you know, like on a desk, on a shelf, on something, right?
Other science facts.
An 8-inch, that's, okay. That's great showcasing. Like third of a play grade bump up. Because that's knowing your market and knowing that they're going to want to buy those extra trinkets. So, awesome. And stretch goals gets me excited. Even better.
What do you think, sir?
Okay. Do I want it as a fan of Mystery Science Theater 3000? Yeah. But once again, you probably could have just smeared poop on a wall. And that could have been the video, and it would have been like, yeah, I still kind of want the game, right? So as a non-Mystery Science Theater 3000, the answer is hell no. Hell no, because the game looks like a lot of other games where it's like, oh, here's the thing, put out something funny. Who's the funniest? You get a point. And that's not a knock. I designed a game like that, so I'm not knocking it. It's just like, you gotta hope you gotta be hoping for more if you're a board gamer. Yeah. Cryptozoics, it's 2010, Cryptozoic Entertainment. Yeah, they do comics. I think that's what it is. And then they also now, don't feel bad about it. Adventure Times, the Card Wars, the DC, their deck building game is great, by the way. So let's make sure these most recent things, people got their stuff. I imagine they probably did because, it's a bigger company compared to most board game companies. What do you want to see next for Adventure Time Card Wars? Change ideas for 2-pin comments. Icky. Hi, can I get my delivery status? Please see our most recent update. So cool. Good stuff. Good customer service. Looks like Dan's coming in here. Is this still has to be delivered December 2025? Oh, wow. You know what? I take back my my compliments for Dan. I take it back big time. Wow. I take it back huge time. So Dan just chimed in like 13 minutes ago. But before that 13 minutes ago, it's been a wasteland of not just Dan, but anyone who probably should be talking to these people for months. But whatever. Hopefully they had good updates. November, yes. Cool. They're in here. They're choking. So yeah, that one's not out. Not choking. They're chirping. All right. Make sure people got their role-playing game. Make sure people got their DC deck building. Once again, great system. Really enjoy that system. It's fun to mush stuff together. If we get the green light to do more products in the series, what new? Yeah, pin, cool. It's a good thing to pin stuff like that, but at the same time, it also blocks the real comments. Something based on the original. So any updates on this? Are we better delivery anytime soon? My gut tells me in January, February, as they're now proofreading the new physical copies. So yeah, no. So that one's not out. Big question, we expect a new Kickstarter for DC, because I can't wait for some sneak peeks. I really love the game. Will be a restock? So yeah, I'm not particularly worried about it. It looks like they have like 2 or 3 things potentially out and pending. Tops. And once again, they're a larger company that has board games as like a side hustle type thing, because they have all the IPs, I imagine. And it makes sense. So, can you do it? Yeah, not worried about it. But also, I would put, retail gun. I would just get this at retail, no matter who you are, unless you really want all the extra knickknacks and paddywhacks, in which case, you probably still get it in some way. You might still try anyway. So what do we got? 3 to 8 players, 30 minutes. What you get? 70 cards. 1 acrylic thing that holds the card. Okay, so this is part of why you need it now. Something to hold the card. Okay. 180 Riff cards. Doesn't feel like a lot of cards. It's 250 cards. 8 oversized Riff cards to dry erase. Oh, okay. Cool, so that's more like a... say anything. It's a great John Cusack movie. Also a great board game. Great trivia game. I'd recommend to anyone. You could probably even make Mystery Science Theater 3000. Yeah, actually, you could probably purchase this and then combine a copy of Say Anything and you'd have yourself a better game. I'm not saying that in an insulting way. I mean, Say Anything is incredibly much beloved. 1 round tracker, 24 betting tokens, 1 game board, 1 deluxe. So that's go. Cool. So, hot riffing action. How to play. Yes. So I'm curious where the dry erase board comes in. There's a twist. If the player wins points at experiment, uses their 3 or 5 tokens, the mech picks up the big brain energy through their mind monitoring and gets some data points as well, scoring 1 point from 3 and 2 from 5 that won, and then moving on the track. There's more. For the more adventurous players, we've included special oversized Riff cards. Okay, so it's like if you want to play in a more fun way, where it actually requires some creativity, because we only give you 70 cards. Oh, sorry, 140. It's not a lot. Like, Jiminy Christmas, they are really bending you over a barrel here with this price. That does not, and I bet they're going to have a whole bunch of, I bet it's probably stretch goals that are down here. They're just going to be chalking the box full of cards, because that's not a lot of cards. For, I imagine, $35. Granted, you haven't told me the price yet, because why would you possibly want to do that? We have the expansion. Find yourself wanting even more cards. Yeah, because you didn't give us a lot, with the bonus feature, which has 80 movie moment cards, and this comes in a larger size tuck box. So it's like one of those tuck boxes like that thick, like a for sale size tuck box. To put that in perspective, because we're about to get to the price. The unnecessary playmat that you don't need. Okay. The these things, which you do want. Let's be quite frank. If you're still here, you probably want them. Plastic betting tokens and cloth. Unnecessary deluxifications, but still nice. Metal Mads tokens. Cool. Nifty. Wow. Is this the deluxe? This better be the deluxe, right? That's not the deluxe. That's just the... Okay, it is the deluxe. Wait, so this stuff doesn't come in the deluxe, though, right? That's like its own separate thing. Oh, okay. Yeah, they are really bending over the barrel there on the price. $50 for that game is not a good price. At least it does not feel like at all. And that's coming from someone who worked for a manufacturer. And not to mention, they're probably going to mass produce the living snot out of this. So I cannot, this totally feels like a wait until retail type thing. Holy Toledo. $35, we got this, we got that, we got that. Okay. So the one thing, yeah, because you guaranteed want that, right? Even though, yeah. And then 180 for all this. If you're a Mystery Science fan, it doesn't feel great. Like, it just doesn't. I guess this is 8 inches. You got to remember that. Like, that's what I'm buying. 180 for all this. Plus, we have the shipping. Yeah. Let's see what the breakdowns are. $50 for that. 176. All right. 85 for that. 425. The big one you want everybody to get. 676. So they do. They have more people on that one, which is great. It's not a dominant number by any stretch of the imagination. We have 600 on those pledges, 676 on that one. But at the end of the day, 9 retailers, that does kind of make sense if you know your crowd well. They got more on that. So good for them. They're making a whole boatload of these balls. That price just feels not great. Not great. But I will say, the playmat looks nice, even though it looks unnecessary. Stretch goals. 2 movie moment cards, making it up to 72, 74, 76. Why would you not put this up higher? Why would you not update? Put this up higher. As I always say, what's your goal when you launch a Kickstarter? It's to get funded. What's your goal after you get funded? It's not to get funded because you're already funded. It's to, if you have stretch goals, hit stretch goals, which means these should go way higher. Like, look at the relative positioning of where this is to the page. This is in the bottom 30%. This, along with shipping, is in the bottom 30%. Like, you're telling me that's where, like, come on. And these are great. Like, how many cards have we added now? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Like, but some of these are 4. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That price looks terrible. And at the end of the day, they could add an extra 52 cards, and that price is still going to look terrible. Like, unless they start adding plastic or acrylics or something else into there, like, you're getting bent over the barrel on this price. Cards are not expensive. Oh, golly, $27. Get wrecked. 1,000%. I'm going with a full third. I don't normally do bump downs for prices, but this just feels terrible. This is just like $77. Get the hell out of here. Like, are you kidding me? That doesn't even include the you couldn't even give me your stupid tuck box with extra cards for that price. You're like, can't throw that in. 75. Jiminy Christmas. That feels so terrible. And then, like, do the other ones feel better at least? No. 36 for this one. So it goes up 9. So now I'm like at 120. And then 72 for that one. I guess it is an 8-inch thing. $252. Ow. That does get me a little bit more excited about this, I think. But, well, honestly, I don't even know what it does because their shipping just seems to suck across the board. So I don't know why this one would get me more excited because I'm just, wow. Holy God. They are really, they know that they have what you want. I'm going to guess there's going to be a decent chunk of new users because that is not great Kickstarter pricing at all. Nah, 46. People are just like, all right, fine. I love Mystery Science Theater that much. Yeah, because, like, the acrylic, so you get the one piece of acrylic and then everything else. Yuck. Icky, ick, ick. All right, comments, updates. Give this one a grade. FAQ, actually. Is it organized? Yes, thank you for putting the numbers there. That's so helpful. That's so helpful for you when you want to reference that to the community, I suppose. So it's better than nothing, I will say. But I would organize this like Reload from Colossal Games. So, you know, if there's a shipping section, there's a, so the VAT would be there. The multiple copies of the different wards are probably the shipping. Like, that sort of stuff. If you go look at Colossal from Reload, Reload from Colossal Games, it'll also give you a better idea of what it's talking about. It's slowly shifting to be something that I see a few times a week. But that being said, just numbering it, I think, is better than nothing, to be quite frank, because it really does make it easier to be like, oh yeah, you know, if you want more information, it's FAQ number 4, but here's the synopsis. Oh, cool. I think my kids have looked at those books before. What am I doing here? This is, oh, you're asking a question. Good for you. Asking questions, getting people engaged. What do we got? This is about stuff about the stretch goals. You had the stretch goals? Yeah. Why am I supposed to be excited about stretch goals when you're not excited about stretch goals? when you bury them all the way at the bottom, and then you don't even mention how many things you've unlocked at the top, especially when that is an entire extra deck of cards. Like 30, 40, 50 cards. What's your favorite all-time episode? Okay. Just a churn? Check out today's update. The game is almost as elusive as the gameplay like Cards Against Humanity, card play, and picking. I wish there were a way to turn it into a riffing on movies. What's the gameplay like? Yeah, there is. But no. They, like, literally, with the dry erase boards, there is. And they should probably reread the campaign page. You can riff on any movie using the game. Today's updates to the previous one has a good explanation of how the game takes a tried and true mechanic and adds new twists that give it more of a feel. There's a surprising amount of variety to the gameplay that will keep you coming back. Well, I'm glad you posted this in the updates. Maybe you should make people feel that way in your story, too. Because it did not at all. That guy put it perfectly. Or gal. Or whoever. Could be a dog. I don't care. I'm impressed. Actually, I do care. That would be very impressive. That is a dog. I commend you. But, like, what? Who cares? I just, the dog thing. I'm just now imagining a dog at the other end of that. One of these days. We're talking to dolphins. Why can't we teach dolphins to work keyboards? All right, Mystery Science Theater 3000 the game. Man, I wish I was a fan of Mystery Science Theater so I could have went through that with the proper amount of disappointment that I feel like I was, because you know, there's a couple gut punches, right? First gut punch, all right, gameplay looks incredibly generic and boring. Like, compared to most of the party games that a lot of the Board Game Geek crowd plays, this one does. Let me rephrase that. At least what you showed me. Now you're saying, oh, there's some other cool little quirks. Didn't see him. You didn't spotlight him well. Your video is too long. But it did the fan service, so I'm totally going to give that one a pass. But do I want it? As a fan, sure. You have the thing. As a non-fan, no. Gut punch, game doesn't look great. Gut punch, not a lot of cards. Gut punch, price is garbage. Gut punch, shipping, also garbage. Like, that is 4 straight gut punches. Also, if I don't know who Cryptozoic is, you know, I feel like they did a really poor job doing their spotlight, which, once again, feels simply inexcusable with these larger companies. It just feels lazy. I talked about a company yesterday who did the exact same thing. It's like, what are you doing? Why is this so hard? You have a proven track record. And I know these are different games, different designers. It doesn't matter. You publish the games. You can say, here's some of our other fantastic games that we have published, including a lot of intellectual property games. Like the top 1,000 game of all time, Love Letter Batman, DC deck building game, you know, GKR heavy hitters. You know, like, you could literally point to so many things and so many awards, and so, like, we just don't. Why? I don't know. Because you're presumably getting the Mystery Science Theater crowd convinced that, like, it's just, there's so many little things. It's just, ick. Final Grade is not a great one. Can you do it? Yeah. That one I'm not worried about, but once again, I would totally just pick it up retail. You're going to save yourself a good chunk of change, and you could probably get that other stuff after the fact. Just slip it up on eBay and probably split the difference, right? Being quite frank here, like, if you don't think they're going to mass produce a good deal of these games, well, then you and I would disagree. So how much is it? Doesn't feel great. Can you do it? I mean, it feels good, like you'll get it, but it doesn't feel great. Then the price, it's one of those ones where you're like, if you're gonna wait 6 months, you're gonna be like, oh man, this game's way cheaper. And at the end of the day, with the gameplay looking like what it is, it definitely feels like one of those games someone gets as a gift. And if they have more, you know, more fancy party games, I don't know. D+, C-, yeah, D+. I feel like the video was the best part if you were a fan of everything. Like, everything was, yeah. Nah, yeah, D+. Like, the not spotlighting stretch goals, the burying them completely at the bottom, just, ugh, yeah. Get me out of here. So have yourself a great weekend. By the way, in case you happen to be listening to this in podcast form or watching in the past, I've been talking about this amazing behind-the-scenes thing happening at Bowers Game Corner. Well, today is a big day as part of that, or as I am expecting, hopefully a text message, perhaps a phone call in the next, 5 to 7 hours that will let me know if I am moving on to the next step of this incredibly exciting thing going on in the back end, or if this incredibly exciting thing is never going to happen, which I think is a very low possibility, or I think the most realistic possibility, if you're curious, this incredibly exciting thing gets put on the back burner until next year, in which case I will have a good chance to potentially get it then. But either way, still very exciting, and I can't wait to tell you about it. But have yourself a great weekend, or whatever day that you're watching this, dog, because I know it was you, dog.